Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Marine Corps League Commandant's Corner. This was established approximately 2 years ago almost. We've been running strong, and it's a social, we've now made it an information sharing forum. So we try to throw out a topic, but know that no topic is off limits. So it is hosted by the National Public Relations Committee. My name is Victoria McCoy. I am the chairperson of said committee, but I have an amazing group of people helping me out. So tonight's topics, and I use the plural here, tonight's topics of discussion are going to be national marksmanship and national scouts. So with that being said, I'd like to turn the microphone over, shut down my little portion of the spiel, and allow our scouts to go first. So Rich Walsh, the floor is yours, sir.
Good evening, Marines. So we're pretty excited to kind of share with the stuff we're working on with the youth we got coming up throughout America. First, I'd like to introduce our committee. David Masunas is our chair. He wasn't able to make it tonight. We have Skip Diamond, Vinnie Howard, Charles Menton, Steve Broussard, Bill Krupa, and Mike Sturch is our ex officio. So I like to say I have a voice for newspapers and a face for radio, but what we try to do in our group is really engage with the youth. And one of the ways we do that is by giving out good citizenship awards to our youth that have earned the rank of Eagle Scout. We also do some, we started something about a year and a half ago called Good Citizenship, for the Boy Scouts. It's a Square Knot Award. And then we also want to kind of talk about reporting tonight. So the Good Citizenship Award it's basically when a youth earns the rank of Eagle, they'll request us to come in there, and we'll have one or more members will come to the Court of Honor, which is basically their award ceremony. And we'll do a formal presentation of the certificate to the youth. Depending on the size of the unit, I've been there where we've had the governor of Michigan has been at one, all the way down to I was the only guy there. So it kind of crossed the whole spectrum. The other thing we kind of talk about is our Square Knot Award, which this is an award that by meeting certain criteria, tenure, training within scouting, Marine Corps League members can earn. That's called the Community Organization Award that'll go on their Boy Scout uniform, and an Eagle Globe and Anchor emblem will go inside that. And then we want to talk about just kind of our basic reporting. Every quarter, we're trying to get a metric of how we're doing and getting certificates out across the country and how many youth we've recognized. So with that kind of a real quick thing, we just want to kind of open it up to questions. If anybody has questions specific to what we do, how we do it, and why we do it.
Thank you so much, Rich. That is, in a nutshell, basic 101 on scouts. So at this time, again, please use your virtual hand. And by doing that, again, you hover on the bottom to reactions and raise your hand. No question is too small, no question too large. And if the answer cannot be answered here, then I promise you those answers will be found by Rich or the chair of the committee. So it looks like we have some hands coming in. Frank Kelly, you are first. Mel, you are on deck. Frank, you have the floor. You are muted.
Can we get some other information about this Square Knot Award and the patch that goes with it?
Absolutely. If you go to the national website, inside for the youth programs, we have a segment right on there, and it's all there. And if you can't find anything, all our emails are in there. Absolutely reach out to one of us and we can get you squared away.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Frank. Mel, you are up. Levum, you are next.
So can you guys hear me? I didn't test myself earlier.
We got you, sir.
You got me. Hey, so I'm the chair for the Department of Illinois, and we started something about 2010. we saw an interest in handing out K-bars to these Eagle Scouts along with the Good Citizenship Award. And the parents, the family pays for them, and we buy them at cost from K-Bar Corporation. And any of the Marine Corps League units can go ahead and open up an account and do that. But you know, we hand out last fiscal year, we hand out I think it was 85. We average generally in the upper 80s in our particular detachment in northern Illinois, Lake County, Illinois, Lake County Detachment 801 actually. So it's something that scouts look forward to getting, something better than a piece of paper. I've also understood that there are some detachments that have coins that they've had made that also can describe, you know, the event, so to speak, and various things on it. One I've seen out of Rockford, Illinois, on one side says Eagle Scout, you know, actually I have one I carried with me. I should quote it exactly. It says, once an Eagle, always an Eagle, which is true. And of course, on the reverse is once a Marine, always a Marine. So I know they hand out. So handing out something else is something that families and Eagle Scouts look forward to. So if anybody wants information, more information from me, my name and address, I'm on the Illinois Marine website. And it's just that, it's Illinois Marine website. Or you can reach out to me through the www.lakecountymarines.com. That's it, my 2 cents.
So one thing I like to point out is this, obviously this is a voluntary program, so a detachment can get as involved as they'd like, or as not involved as they'd like, I guess is the converse of that. So this is a locally detachment funded. What Mel said, yeah, they got a little bit of different twist on it with offering something else. That's awesome. It's really what your unit wants to do. So I guess, Vic, we got the next question.
All right. Great answer, great questions. I'm sorry I was dealing with a locked chat box and that has been repaired. Levim, you are up, and Pablo, you are on deck. Stand by.
Okay, actually, that was my question, is what am I doing wrong with the chat box? So
That was
like I said, I'm real new to this. Now, if I want to answer somebody, I just type something in there and I just hit enter, correct?
There are different options in the chat box. There, you can chat with someone directly by typing in their name when you go to that to line, or you can just chat to everyone. So, you know, kind of play around with it. You know, search for my name by going to the to, and you do the drop box. You can type in Victoria and you'll see me. So we'll work through it, but otherwise keep the chat to everyone because your question might be the same as someone else.
Yeah, and all right. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Great questions, never a bad question. Pablo, you are up. Brent, you are on deck.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Gotcha.
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, so my question is, I said I know a lot of detachments don't have a Boy Scout representative for in each of their detachment. Is there any way we could comprise a list of who is available? Because right now I received one for a Eagle Scout who's looking for the Good Citizenship Award by his parents, but he's like 6 hours away from me. So I was trying to find a local detachment. I reached out to two via email because the phone numbers that were on the website were no good. So I haven't heard back from them. And this Eagle Scout's about to have his Court of Honor on March 1st, and it's up there in, where is it? Mesquite, Texas, which is just outside of Dallas. I'm located South Houston. So it's kind of hard to find. Well, the detachments, like I said, I've seen on the website. I reached out to two of them. I haven't heard back from them. They're the closest ones I could see to them. So I'm just trying to see if there's like a actual way we could compose a list for this, so we could have like a communication between each detachment that has a Boy Scout liaison representative for the detachment.
Rich, I got this one. This is Charles Minton, part of the committee. Right now, we're trying to work that. We get a lot of them that come through national on the website. And when we get them, all I do is go to the locator page on the Marine Corps League site, find the closest detachments and see if they can do it. If they can't do it, I just mail a certificate to the scout. So if you don't get access, just mail the certificate to the scout himself. And that way there, at least he'll have the certificate. He may not have anybody presenting it, but he'll still receive the certificate. And hopefully we can reach out to those detachments and actually get a program started. Because we'd like to see each detachment have a program started and each department have a coordinator, and then eventually each division have a coordinator, so that, you know, we have what you're talking about, a line of communication where I can reach out to my department coordinator and say, hey, who's close to this guy? He should have a list of his detachments, or, you know, like you say, somebody like yourself, send it to them themselves. Does that help out?
It does, but also like, is there any way to also update the websites for these attachments, or have these attachments find out if these phone numbers or anything like that is still are good for them? Because like I said, I reached out to the numbers that were on these websites and they were no good. So I just reached out via email to them, but yeah, I still haven't heard back from them. So I'm not sure there's still any good emails or phone numbers or not. That was just my problem. I mean, I had no issue. I have blank certificates here that I could easily put the boy's name on there and send it off to him. But I mean, like we said, it'll be better to have a local detachment there to actually present it to them. But yeah, like if I can't get a hold of anybody, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to email it. I'm just going to send it off to them.
Hey, Pablo, I'm a senior vice for the Department of Texas. I'm up in that area near in DFW near Mesquite. I can get a hold of that detachment and forward that on to them. I'll get with you in the chat box.
All right, sounds good.
One thing I'd like to add to that is, you know, when we get kids or parents reach out to us, we got to make sure we respond, because if that hangs out in the wind, that's one thing we'll get up national is, hey, I reached out 6 months ago to a local or to the state level, and that makes us all look bad. So worst case, I mean, ideally we'd like to have somebody presented in person, and the mails is a better option than no response at all. And that's certainly we don't want to do. But
All right, thanks a lot, Pablo. Great questions, great answers. Moving along. We have, next up is Brent. After that is going to be Frank. Well, what happened to Brent? He went away.
I'm here. Nope. Should be good.
Oh, you dropped your own
Put my
hand.
hand up 20 minutes ago.
I put my own hand
Still
down.
right there.
I know what's up. Anyway, I was curious if there were any bylaw info related to the Scout program. We've got a couple, but I also have a female who is doing, I know it's not the same terminology. I mean, the Scout part is, but I think they do a Gold Star project or gold something. Because I just want to make sure that if we're presenting them with something that, you know, if there's supposed to be paperwork that goes up the chain of command, I think that would be a nice little addition to any kid who's done all that hard work. So curious if there's paperwork, not like I'm loving paperwork, but I figure it's part of being in charge.
Girl Scouts specific is actually handled through the Marine Corps League Auxiliary. If you have a young lady that earned her Gold Star, I'd reach out to your league auxiliary, find out if there's anybody local, and maybe they might ask you to present on their behalf.
Sure.
We've done that also.
Okay. Awesome. And then just as a follow-up, I know people have mentioned challenge coins. Anything that's anybody who has a good experience that doesn't cost them a ton of money, if you could share that info. I mean, I've got a couple, but I figure if somebody's got something that costs $5 less a coin, that could save some cash. So you can just put it in chat box if that's okay. I don't want to overwhelm the chat box with you know, challenge coin sites, but just throwing it out there. Or you can email me. I'll put that in there. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Brent, and thanks for the offer on that. By all means, put it in the chat. The chat is very busy and it has been fixed. Just a reminder, if you are not speaking, please mute your microphone. A lot of background noises are being picked up, and I'm doing my best to try to mute you as I catch you. It's not to be rude. It's to give courtesy to the person speaking. So thank you again, Brent. Frank Kelly, you are up. John, you are on deck.
What I wanted to add, not only do we give the certificate, but we've been able to purchase some foldable survival knives. They're inexpensive. So we give the certificate out and a personalized survival knife that folds up.
Excellent. Like I said, it's really whatever the detachment really wants to do. Anything over and above is awesome. I'm sure the youth are going to remember that and just make it that much more memorable.
John, did that answer your question?
Not this, John. From
Oh, I'm
Chattanooga.
sorry. I'm sorry, I'm losing track of who I have here. All right, so question asked and answered, hopefully. John, you are up. Craig, you are on deck.
Hey, look, I was in the Commandant for the last 3 to 4 years, and I'll be the past Commandant come next month. But I gave some jobs to give to my detachment for like the Boy Scouts and stuff like that. But I never got a response back from them in my detachment. Is there any way that I could find online how to handle this stuff for the Eagle Scouts? I mean, we need more information on this. How to get started with it and just handle it. Like I said, I took over a position as a Commandant in Chattanooga that was really messed up. And then I had to learn from just reading the bylaws and stuff. But I don't understand everything. And I'm fixing to pass this torch on to another Commandant that I would be his past Commandant to guide him. How can we find some information on this Boy Scout stuff?
So please reach out to us on our, again, the national website. You reach out to any of us to try and trying to explain how to do that. Each area is used.
Too many people talking. There's too many people talking.
I don't know if Rich lost or not. John, this is Charles Mitt. I'm part of the committee also. If you reach out to myself, Dave, Rich, or any of us, we're actually working on, we just talked about this the other night, we're actually working on a kind of like a cheat sheet that each detachment can use to start a program and then tweak it to meet their needs from there. It's a generic packet we're going to work on, and then you can tweak it to, include extra additives you want to give out to the scouts or whatever. But we're going to try to work on it to give a general script and, what the cost is. It has to be voted upon by the detachment in order to do this program, because there is a cost value involved in it with the certificates and frames or red folders. So, it has to be passed and put in your bylaws that, or your administrative procedures that, yes, the detachment is going to do this. And yes, we're going to take on any dollar amount, involved with this. Like I said, it's only usually $2 to $4. And that's about the average cost on the certificate and the folders. But we are working on that. So like I said, please reach out to any of us on our emails. Mine's on there. I'm Charles Minton. Please reach out to me. And I've got a basic package now. We haven't finalized it for the national side yet, but I have one I use for the Mid-East Division in North Carolina as well. If you're welcome to have it, or anybody's welcome to have it, just reach out to me via email and I'll send you what I got.
Okay. Well, you got an email address? Huh?
Yeah. All our emails are on the national website.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Anything I can do to help out. I'm just trying to do something different.
We greatly appreciate it.
I'm gonna mute.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Just so you know, we do have people trying to enter the room. I don't know what's happening with the Zoom account because we only have 80 participants. So I will be scrolling around and deleting people that are obviously offline or what have you. So we can make room for people that are trying to get in, which is a good problem to have. So Craig, you are up. Vinny, you are on deck. Reminder to please stay on mute when you are not speaking. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, so good evening, everybody. I got a couple things. Number one, is there a script from national? Because, a lot of these detachments, when you send somebody out to go speak in the public, number one, you need to listen to that person speak, because the person that you send out to speak on behalf of your detachment you need to make sure they're articulate and they know what they're talking about. Now, a lot of people who do the scouting program pretty much have a script memorized, that, at least from what I've seen, the Marines that do it on a regular basis. But for people that are starting it, we need a written script from national that could just be something that you read down while you're at a court of honor. So you don't fumble through the presentation. It makes it more professional since we're a professional organization. So if National doesn't have one of those, I suggest that we have one at the national level that we could push down, you know, and maybe include like, you know, how it correlates, once an Eagle Scout, always an Eagle Scout, once a Marine, always a Marine. Are there any Marines who are also Eagle Scouts? Things like that, you know, tie all that stuff in to make it a personal presentation. And then what we do in the Department of Maryland is, I know National has an application for scouting. The Department of Maryland also has an application for scouting. And I will tell you that my local detachment has an application for this Good Citizenship Award on our website. So if they're local to us, they go right to my local website, they download the application, fill it out, and it comes right back to my local detachment. If they're in Maryland, they go to the, well, to be honest, we have it listed with the Baltimore Council. They have a link on their website, and it goes right to our department website and a link to our application. So anyone who's going to be an Eagle Scout that's part of the Baltimore Council can look at that and say, oh, these are one of the people that'll give me awards. All I got to do is fill this thing out. Do I want to have a Marine come and do the presentation? It's all on the application. So if other departments aren't already doing that, I would recommend that they do something like that at the department level, and then maybe ask your detachments to do that. So those are just the two things, you know, I know that application is out there, it can be modified very easily for different detachments. So if you need a copy, I can provide you with one. I think Charles has one for down in North Carolina. So
to answer your questions, that we don't, back to the same thing. This is at the national level, this is a very basic, it's just a Scott. To your point, yeah, we absolutely want to give a professional, you want somebody to come up there stumbling all over the words, and we want to keep it a uniform presentation. So that's one thing we're working on. We just had a meeting last night about it, actually, about trying to come up with some best practices from all the different units within the league. What works best, where they got great comeback, great feedback from, that we can try and get a standardized uniform approach and make that across the whole platform. That's something that's on our agenda. It's not in place right now. We kind of eat an elephant one bite at a time. We're trying to get people identified at the detachment level and then start working our way up and start coming up with training programs, instructional videos and such.
All right, thanks very much, Craig and Rich, for your answers. Just keep in mind, we are at the half-hour mark, and we have lots of hands raised on this topic of discussion. We also need to segue into marksmanship. So we're going to finish out the questions that we have and segue into marksmanship. For anyone who does not know, all of committee members have their email addresses on the national roster, which has been recently updated and is located in the Marine Corps League member library. So right now we have Vinny up, and then Sal, you are on deck.
Good evening, everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is Vinny Howard. I'm my detachment liaison as well as the department liaison. Something I've done, if you know, the certificate is nice, but always adding a letter to it, especially if you can't make it. And then using comparisons to the Scout Oath and Scout Law to the honor, courage, and commitment that we, you know, become Marines. And, you know, we didn't have those phrases back in the 80s, but it's a really good comparison. And then quote, you know, put down a famous person that's an Eagle Scout. You can Google it and you'll see many, many celebrities, actors, politicians, astronauts that were Eagle Scouts. And it really makes the kid special because you're tailoring it to him and or her. And it's gone over really well. It takes a couple of minutes to do when you're at the Court of Honor, but it really goes over well. So if anybody has any questions on that or would like a copy of my script, I'd be happy to send it to you. Just direct message me and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Actually, what we don't want to do is have 7 million of these floating around. So if you guys have scripts, because you send them to the national committee, that we can start going through and trying to streamline a little bit, because I'm sure they're all great. And again, it's better to have that script in place, and all the comments about tying that into honor, courage, commitment, tying in once a Marine, always a Marine, once an Eagle Scout, always an Eagle Scout. Absolutely. It's all great stuff.
All right, thank you. Great information, Vinny. Great answers, Rich. We're going to move right along with question. Next one comes in from Kay. Kay, you are up. And then, no, I'm sorry, Sal. Sal, he didn't do a virtual hand raise. Sal, you're up. Kay, you're on deck.
He's taking a pass.
Taking a pass. Kay, you are up. Come on in.
Hi, I'm Kay from the Department of Indiana. This may not be the quorum or the place, but I would like to know how we can correct, change, whatever word you'd like to use, so that our Girl Scouts getting their Gold Star Award are awarded the same level that our Boy Scouts earning the Eagle Scout, because as much as I appreciate our auxiliary, our Girl Scouts deserve the same recognition and honor being presented this award by a Marine. That's my question.
100%
How do we fix it?
100% agree. That's a judge advocate. I'm going to defer pass the punt to the judge. That's out of our hands at the committee level.
Commandant Baker, you on deck? Do we have our Commandant here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Want to chime in on that one?
Well, go ahead and ask me the question one more time. I thought it was simple. You want the Girl Scouts on the same level as the Boy Scouts, right?
That would be wonderful, sir.
Okay, and Rich, answer me this. I think the answer is in the Marine Corps League Auxiliary are giving those awards out. Now, I will check and see if it's the same level award. If it's not, then we'll work on that. I just wrote that down on my paper to check with the auxiliary to make sure what they're doing. And we need to probably pull together, Rich, we probably need to pull together the auxiliary and the Marine Corps League into having one unified voice. And we can work on that at midwinter. Are you going to be there, Rich?
I hope to be.
Okay.
But yes, sir.
We'll get an answer to you, Kay.
Thank you. I will be at midwinter as well. I'm looking forward to that, sir.
Thank you.
All right, I'm seeing in chat, part of the question was not answered. Maybe it will go into further discussion that the award should not come from auxiliary, but be presented by a Marine from the League. Any comment on that?
I think that's part of the process between us and the auxiliary, that I want to work with Rich and David Masunas with Evelyn Joplin and her folks. And I think we should put it together under one umbrella. And the Marine Corps League is broader than the auxiliary for sure. And so if we work together as a team, though, I think we can work together very easily to make that happen. I'm very capable. I'm very sincere when I think we can make that happen pretty easily. And I just wrote a note down to myself when we get to midwinter here next week. I'll bring that up to Madam President.
All right, 2 more questions on deck on this topic before we segue into the other. Bryce, you are up, sir. Mel, you are on deck, and my last question on Eagle Scouts.
Yeah, I just, I kind of got caught off guard there because we had, I'm Bryce West of the Commandant for the Department of Tennessee, and here I have a detachment in Chattanooga saying, we don't have any of this information. We don't have any of this information. Where do I find it? But I've never been contacted by the department or the detachment in Chattanooga. So to the guy in Chattanooga, my cell phone number is 731-444-7877. You can call me anytime. I'll get you the answers. That's all I got.
Thank you, Bryce. And just so you know, it's recorded on YouTube, so now the whole world has your phone number. No,
it's awesome. I don't care.
No, outstanding response, because it is very important you use your chain of command. And this is a great forum for social interaction, but use your chain of command. I mean, Bryce has your answers, so please, let's get those answers taken care of. Thank you, Bryce, very much for that. All right, Mel, you're going to close up Scout questions. Come on in. You are muted, sir.
Yeah, one of the popular things at a court of honor is for the parents to write to various dignitaries. And I've seen letters come in, congratulatory letters from all the branches of the service, the Pope, presidents, et cetera, with the exception of Headquarters Marine Corps. Is there some rule or some practice that Headquarters Marine Corps does not respond to these? Or is that, do they pass on those requests to the Marine Corps League to do their thing?
That's a great question. I'm going to defer to the National Commandant. He maybe.
Mel, I just made myself another note. I can't answer your question, but we'll find out. We'll work
I
on that.
love
for
it
sure.
when we stump everyone and we're going to get those questions answered.
Give me one more comment on speeches. Remember, we're trying to stroke the Eagle Scout. We're not trying to advertise per se for the Marine Corps League. We're doing that by being there in uniform and dressing the part. But we want to really encourage the kids to do their thing as an Eagle Scout. I would ask all of you in your speeches to encourage the Eagle Scouts or the parents to purchase a life membership in the National Eagle Scout Association. And I send a link to the parents when I acknowledge that we're going to make a presentation. And then I put them on the spot in my speech. That keeps the Eagle Scout, who for most part right now is 17 years and 8 or 9 months old. There's a limit at 18. They're off to college, they're off into industry, doing something else. Being part of that organization keeps them somewhat hooked into scouting as they venture out and become an adult. And I'm done. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Mel, for that information. That was the last question that we unfortunately have time for on the Scout program. We did split this hour up to 2 programs. So at this time, I would like to segue into marksmanship. Who do I have representing the National Marksmanship Committee? Go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about the National Marksmanship.
This is Joe Kyer. I am the National Marksmanship Committee Chairman. With us tonight, we had Jeremy Williams, the Assistant Chairman, Andrew McCormick, Lynn Stanton, and Van Dyke Bergen that I saw on here. I don't see Jeremy anymore. I don't know if he got kicked off. At any rate, good. I'm going to be somewhat brief here, just make sure everybody knows there's been lots of questions coming in from some of the changes in the marksmanship program, and we are trying to expand it from what it's been. And I think we've been very successful so far. First thing I want to let everyone know is every year around the 1st of March, we have a PDF document that's posted on the Marine Corps League Library that has some details about that year's postal match. It's up there now. I'm going to ask Bob Borgo if we can put a revised one with a couple simple revisions in it. I wanted to mention, because a lot of questions came in about the firing the pistol postal match at a sheriff's range or a police range that's 50 feet. And we had one of the detachments researched it and found a comparable NRA target that you can shoot our match at 50 feet. So what it has is it has the 33% reduced size rings and bullseye. So it matches, it's the NRA B5 rather than the B8. So any questions on that? That's been a big thing. Make sure you look on the library. All of our information is on there for all the members. You can email or call me about that if you have a question. That's most of the changes in that we're going to have coming up for the 2022 season. I did mark in there that just so everyone knows, we can pass it on. All shooters that shoot in the postal matches are individual shooters. When you register to shoot, you're an individual shooter. You can be on a team if you have 4 or 5 members, but that's not an extra fee. That's part of the individual fee. So I get a lot of responses back that certain people weren't shooting individual, they were only shooting team. But when you register to shoot, you're going to be individually ranked And then if you have enough people in a team and it's set out ahead of time which members are on that team, then it will work that way. The other thing is some of the things that have been going around, I want to make sure everyone knows some of the things that we're doing are in process. Some of the things we're going to have to do as we change things is get things approved by the national board. So some of the things you've heard about national shooting teams and a national match, in-person match, is still in process. There's been some talk about it, like, it's already been done and it has not been completed. We're getting together a proposal to the national board about our national shooting teams that will shoot at the NRA CMP matches. Pretty much, I think that's about all I have. Just make sure I want to mention to everyone, I'm sure you all know, but there is a lot of information on the Marine Corps League Library. And everything I've ever answered a question to is on there. I don't mind answering questions, but there's registration sheets and fillable PDF scorecards, printables, PDF scorecards. Everything you need is on there. And more than likely, if you call me, we'll be on the computer together and I'll be showing you where it is. But at any rate, we look forward to the national board looking at our national Marine Corps League postal match SOP, which is a larger book, an extension of that PDF that comes out every year. Once that's approved, we can get that out there. That has a lot more details in there about how a detachment or department can have their own match. The descriptions on how to call the match and certain particular things. So anyway, that's all I have. I think we might have something from Jeremy, the assistant chairman, unless there's any questions for me before we move on.
We do have questions already lining up, but Jeremy, go ahead and introduce yourself and say a little more.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Williams. I'm the assistant chairman for the National Marksmanship Program. I think the only thing that I have to add is kind of what I tell the people on the committee as well, is get out there and get it, be active. Go to your local pistol range. One, it builds a competitive nature within our organization, but two, it also keeps your marksmanship skills sharpened. It's a perishable skill. Learning how to effectively deploy your weapon system, right? So just stay, if anything, go out there and continue practicing your marksmanship skills. Everything that Joe went over was pretty much what our committee is in. We're kind of in a state of flux because we're producing a better program for the league and for everyone to better participate in. But my email is on the national roster. You can reach us through our shooting team Facebook. You can reach us through the marksmanship team Facebook, which is the same thing. And I'm generally monitoring it, and the committee is generally monitoring it. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to raise your hand or to reach out. I'll put my email in the chat box. But if you have any questions, we're so glad to hear them.
All right, thank you both for your introductions, and stand by for questions coming in. Keep in mind, one of the most amazing recruiting tools that I have witnessed is the Marksmanship program. And you tell a young Marine that we're going to go shooting, and you can probably bring a membership application with you. So we're going to move on to questions. Corey, you are up. Levum, you are on deck. Corey, go ahead and ask your question.
With the contemplation of a national match and getting us enrolled to be able to compete at the NRA national matches, is it contemplated that we're going to do department and division matches to qualify members to shoot on that at the national match and then as a national team? Or how are we, what's contemplated as how we're going to get there?
Well, initially how it's going to work is, first of all, being on the Marine Corps League marksmanship team, you're still going to register the same exact way any American or person that is able to shoot a weapon legally can register at these matches like Camp Perry, but we will be doing it as a group and practicing. The initial thought on putting the team together is based on your postal match results. So if you want to shoot on the national team, we really need to shoot on the postal matches, which are, yes, very much easier than national shooting. They're designed that way because we want everyone to come out and shoot, no matter what their level is or if they have disabilities or anything. So that being said, I'm already looking at this year's results and thinking about talking with the rest of the committee about some people who scored extremely high in the postal match this year to see if they ever had thought, or maybe they do, shoot at national level matches. So that's how it would be identified. The second way would be to contact us, and you know, we have a national match director. He's not on here, and we have Andrew is the pistol coach. Lynn Stanton and Van Dyke Bergen are co-coaches for the rifle. Jeremy would be overseeing the whole thing, and we usually, as a group, would get together to discuss qualifying for the team. And I think Jeremy probably has a little bit more to say about that.
Well, Corey, to better answer your question, one of our, I would say, selection processes is seeing how people shoot in the postal match. And I'm always ready to talk to you, bro. Send me a text or a message on Facebook or reach out to myself. And for everybody that is interested, we've had 3 shooters that have identified themselves as high-level shooters. 2, one's distinguished, one is he's in Georgia, and he is probably 3 points away from shooting distinguished rifleman, and he's been a program director for a while. So we're bringing a lot of people to the program that are identifying themselves as, hey, I've been competitively shooting for a while, and they, once we get that kind of contact, we run them through the committee and introduce them to the league, and we use it as a recruiting tool as well. So people that say they can shoot, well, if you want to get squatted with us and you want to be in our program and you want to help us grow this thing, you can't do it unless you're a member of the league. So we're using it also as a recruiting tool and vehicle to grow our ranks in the marksmanship program as a whole. And hopefully those Marines in their respective detachments take on leadership roles and begin to build detachment teams and compete locally. Because a lot of what our program development has taught us, and not only on that in active duty, but also for those of us that were on a rifle team at a high level, see that local involvement is essential to building skills and to building a team. So Andrew McCormack up in at the Leathernecks, was it Lakes Leathernecks detachment up in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, is putting together their pistol squad and rifle squad to be competitive at a detachment level. So if anybody wants to begin to compete at a high national level, we have to compete at a local detachment, regional and state level first, and then most of those shooters end up going to regional CMP matches or national CMP matches or NRA matches, and even some cases like a Fort Benning or a Quantico for other national matches. But I'll turn it over to Andrew, because Andrew's been driving the bus on the pistol side, and then Lynn and Van Dyke also have been instrumental in the vintage rifle competitions and the sniper competitions, and have been extremely active. We were all able to meet at Camp Perry at the national matches last year, as we were shooting on kind of in a Marine Corps League banner.
Okay, before we continue, thank you very much, Joe and Jeremy. So we're not turning this into too much of a tutorial, because we want these training videos and I encourage them, but we do have some hands. Let's get these hands taken care of before we lose the hour. Levum, you are up right now, and there's no questions after Levum. So then we'll go ahead and open up and let you guys talk about this amazing program a little bit more. Go ahead, Levum.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, my name is Levi McKenna, and I'm here at Robbins, and I am right now I'm being asked to put together, we got 2 detachments that want to start shooting teams. And one of them is Detachment 1373 at Central Georgia, and another one is down in Columbus. These are both in the beginning stages, but I was asked some specific questions to ask tonight. And the first one, if I may, is exact weapons. I've got guys that are going out and they're going to start purchasing weapons, but they want to make sure that they get the right weapon. Now, the way I understand it, if they're going to shoot a 45, it has to be on a 1911 frame. True or false?
That is not true.
Okay.
There's a whole list that we put out. I'm gonna have to put it out again. There's
Please.
literally hundreds of pistols that can be shot on the service level.
Okay, that's not what I was told.
And
So thank you very
Glocks
much.
and- So anyway, that list, it is kind of specific, but when I go through the list, there's not a lot of other pistols I've ever heard of that aren't on it. So.
Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. And I will,
If I can further that real quick before you leave,
yes, sir.
If you want to message me after the meeting, I can actually send you a copy of the 2022 CMP list of firearms. What you got to look at when they ask you that question is there's different categories that you shoot in: bullseye, service pistol, open pistol, etc. So when we talk about service pistol, that is very specific. That is your 1911s, your 92Fs. Now it's the P320s, things like that. Those are the service pistols. When you go into open match, there's like 4 pages of pistols on there. Basically, if I remember correctly, the CMP guideline is basically as long as it's in use by a military or law enforcement agency, it's covered. But there's an exact list of them, and I can email that to you or send it to you in Facebook or whatever really quickly. So
that would be absolutely wonderful, sir. Thank you very much. I will send you, or if you've got a pen, I can tell you my email address.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it is Levi, Levi, McKenna, McKenna at hotmail.com.
Hey, Marines, let's remember this is going to be going public to everybody to hear and see. So if you're putting public information out there, you got to be real careful what you're putting out there. Just FYI.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate that, Charles. And that's the reason I'm going with that, not my phone numbers.
Okay, good to go.
I will, Andrew, I will text you my phone number in a private chat. All right, now, the next question I've got is, and this probably refers back to the first one, is there specific ammo weights, weights, velocities?
To answer your question,
go ahead.
Yeah, at the postal level, no.
Okay.
At the postal level, we just want Marines to get out here and shoot.
Okay.
Now, when you get up into regional or CMP matches, they do. For instance, 45 has got to be the 230 grain ball, whatever the issued ammo is, pretty much. But it's dependent on caliber and again what you're shooting, what category you're in, etc.
Okay, and then my last question, and this is, as you can tell by looking at my picture, I am not a kid. Okay, I learned to shoot iron sights. Very proud of that. I can't. The 200-yard line now looks like the 500 used to, but the bottom line is, the question that I am being asked is, in order to recruit younger Marines, are there any intentions on allowing the ACOGs?
Yes.
We already
Yes.
have that
Yes.
in our
Yes.
program. We added that 2 years ago. And it's based on the 4-power scope, and ACOG can be used. We've been working closely with a great company, Hilux Optics, and they came up, they have a scope that is almost exactly what the Marines are using today in the field. And we have a special item number for that, special price. But yeah, we did add that in, and the basic thought was for the new Marines.
Okay.
And for, for people like me and you, I can't see anymore. So,
Well, let me ask you a quick, and I don't mean to cut you off, sir, but I'm looking at time. Where is that information at? Because when I went and looked at what I could find on the shooting program, I did not see that. Now, maybe I'm going blinder than I thought.
I'm sorry. It's on the National Library. This year's title is Marksmanship National Rifle Pistol Match Sheet 2022. That's got all the information in it. And then, of course, hopefully the forthcoming SOP, as long as it's approved, has detailed information on all the shooting we do. Because now we are doing service rifle optics and 22 long rifle. And then we're doing the service pistol open and 22 pistol. Then we just added the 50-foot target for ease, so that more Marines can shoot. Whoever wants to shoot can shoot. You were talking about starting the program. And just contact me. We wind up talking to many of the committee members, because I think we have a well-diversified group where certain people handle certain things. But I do have a plan, a very easy way to set up for a group to go to a range and shoot. As far as building targets, each target takes an 8-foot 2x4 and 6 feet worth of 1x3. And that's a target. And they're easy to put together. They move wherever you want to go. Stuff like that. So it's very easy, I believe, to get a group started. And the hardest thing, which a lot of the times is easy for people to get by, is interest. You want to have at least a few people and a place to shoot.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you and thank you very much. Joe, I will try to get your email specifically, and the same with Andrew. When you get a chance, send me an email, please, sir. Ma'am, thank you very much.
You are very welcome.
Levi, this is Johnny Baker.
Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
Make sure you go down there. I would go down there and make a copy of that what's on the libraries, not in the member library, it's in the library. I'm looking at it right now. Go in there, pull that out, and you'll get all the information. Let those guys look at it, then you can read.
Okay, and that's the one with the 3-digit password?
No, does not need a password.
Okay.
It's in the regular library, not the member library.
Okay. Thanks, Johnny.
Okay.
Great questions all around. Looks like we're going to squeeze in one last question. Last hand just raised up. Again, thank you, Levin, for the great questions and information. Your questions are the same as others, so we're getting great answers here. Jason, you are going to close up Marksmanship before we close out the Zoom for the evening.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Just
What's up,
want to
Jason?
reiterate. What's going on, buddy? Just want to reiterate the recruiting efforts. It works. We are right here, MCS El Toro. We're in Southern California. We have some of the stupidest gun laws in the nation. It all started with a little Facebook group, and we've recruited 2 members out of this Facebook group who just wanted to go shooting. We are actually getting together for the first time this Saturday, and there's about 21 of us going, and I'm going to say a good 18 of them are not in the league yet. Maybe 17. One of them was like a nomad. He was part of a detachment that found, went away. So he's going to transfer into our detachment. So it's a great recruiting tool. Marines like to shoot. They like to get outside. We like to do these things. So just start promoting it. It can be just something simple. Just get on Facebook, any social media platform, and say who wants to go shooting. You're going to get responses. So Victoria, you're damn right that you're going to get some recruiting efforts. Bring your application. It will happen. And I'm in California, so if we can do it, you guys can do it anywhere.
The El Toro detachment is a great example of how this works, and Jeremy touched on it a lot, which is they contacted Jeremy and they started up, and now they just about have a program. They have 2 new members, and it looks like they're probably going to have a lot more. And I'm just saying that detachment is one of the examples of what just happened in the last several months, just from talking, emailing, and then it's going to blow up. It's going to be great. I don't know if you have anything for that, Jeremy.
No, Jason was one of the first Marines that I reached out to, because he was poking us on the social media, like, hey, what is this shooting program? And get send me more information. And then we just started talking about how to reach out to the younger Marines that are getting out of the Marine Corps, guys that have been out a while that love to shoot. And one of the ways that Marines tend to build their camaraderie is either in the pits after shooting on the firing line, or looking to your left, looking to your right, and sending that bolt home, and you're on the firing line. So I think hanging out with every single one of you is important, but it's even more important when we're using our heritage as marksmen, as elite marksmen, to bring some camaraderie to the table.
All right, thank you so much, Jeremy, Joe, everybody who has chimed in on this topic. Just so you know, in the chat box, they seem to be comparing states and who has the better guns. So, it looks like Texas is winning. Oklahoma is chiming in. We got a little competition happening there. Thank you all for this evening. And it's very rare that we have to shoo people away. There were people trying to get into tonight's Zoom that could not. There was also, it ran out of time, so we can go on and on. But be reminded, all members here, before we have our national officers close us up, be reminded that if you need to speak to any committee member, not just chair people, not just national officers, and you just want to know more about a program, the national phone numbers and email addresses are in the member library that is password protected. So please reach out to your chain of command if you do not know that password. I will not disclose it here at a public forum. So again, my name is Victoria. This has been amazing. And I now reach out to my national top four to see if they have any closing remarks before I stop recording.
Victoria, this is Johnny. Thank you again. As always, you've done a great job. It's amazing that we had to turn people away. This is the first time for this Commandant's Corner. I'm so proud of where we come. Maybe it's time that we need to pay a little extra bucks a year and get an increase of the amount of people that come in here. I think it was 100. We turned people away tonight. So that's the first time, and that's awesome. I really appreciate that. I think that for the scouting side of the house, I made a note that we made to make some recommendations, maybe at this conference coming up at Commandant's Corner, is to have each department get with their state scouting council and put a link on their website, if you can, back to the department, so the department can force these out for both the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts both. And that way we got contacts within each state. I know in my state, we don't have an auxiliary. So for the Gold Star, as well as the Scouting Awards, it should go to the state, and then we'll take care of it from there. I think that's very important. But thank you. I think we could spend a whole hour on both of these subjects. I'm sorry we had to rush through, but it's an awesome deal. We're going to continue to do this every month. I appreciate what Victoria and her team brings to the table, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Sir Commandant. I know my senior vice is also here, National Senior Vice Griffin. You want to say a few words?
Hi, Victoria. Thank you again for putting this together. What a tribute it is to you and your committee that you actually have to turn people away because there's not enough room for them now. Started out small, you're stuck with it. Like you said, the midwinter's coming up, but I'm still going to go ahead with this Zoom meeting and look at the response you had. And the two topics were great. One is more community outreach with the scouting program. And then the shooting program is more in-house with growing the Marine Corps League, because God bless us, we like to shoot.
Thank you, Sir Commandant. I don't believe I have seen my junior or my JA. So before I stop the recording, just a quick announcement. Our next Commandant's Corner, which we try to change the day of the week to be more inclusive to those who have commitments. We are going to do it on a Sunday night. Sunday night, March 13th at 1900 Eastern Standard Time. And again, that is the 13th of March, Eastern Standard Time at 1900, 7 o'clock for civilians. And our topic of discussion, we're going to take a full hour and invite our young Marines to speak, not only liaisons within the Marine Corps League, but I'm going to be reaching out to members of the actual program proper, the administrators therein, and see if we can get some VIP guests to speak with us. So in closing, again, we will see you next month. We do have midwinter. Everyone travel safely. Semper Fidelis, and good night, Chesty, wherever you are.